No, no. We spoke about that in the dressing room, and with that, it's done for me.
2 weeks ago, Liverpool were in a title race at the top of the league. Now I'm not so sure that they'll ever win another game. They have been dreadful. Come on, Liverpool, you're gonna make me have to root for Manchester City.
This is the worst.
Liverpool had the chance to write a story worthy of the silver screen. Think about it. Following a trophyless season, Liverpool win the league in Jurgen Klopp's last season as manager. That's a movie I'd go see. Instead, Liverpool have opted for a much less intriguing story. That's the one where they go out with a whimper. That's the one that ends with all the strife and discord in the locker room. And speaking of discord, if you join channel memberships at the $3 tier, you get access to a special exclusive members-only Discord community where we chat about football and tactics and all other kinds of nonsense. Well, we had a football game this weekend. Well, we have several. And yeah, we're going to talk about that Spurs ugly loss, but I might save that for a different video. In today's video, I'm focusing on a game that is getting a lot of press coverage, specifically because it featured a fight on the sideline between Jurgen Klopp and Mohamed Salah. Liverpool are in crisis, and they have been for the last few weeks. In fact, they've just seen dreadful result after dreadful result. I mean, it began with that draw to Manchester United, and then ever since then, it's just been an onslaught of mediocre performance after dreadful performance after mediocre performance. The lone bright spot in this month has been a win against Fulham, but besides that, it's just been dreadful. There's been a loss to Atalanta. They got kicked out of the Europa League. There's been the loss to Everton, which was just unforgivable, a 2-0 defeat to Everton. And in this match, they did not look much better. I mean, actually, scoring 2 goals early on in the game, it looked like Liverpool might be able to actually win a game finally. But then they concede later on. But something that happened in the game that was just dreadful, and it's a terrible look for the club, is the fight between Mohamed Salah and the manager. Something we said when I grew up playing American football all the time. Never talk back to the gaffer. No, exactly. We didn't actually say that. You just don't talk back to coach, right? Coach is right, even if he's wrong. Like, you honor him as your coach. And in this situation, Mohamed Salah obviously is not thrilled coming off the bench. He is a legendary player for Liverpool. And a starter for Liverpool, and he has been made to come off the bench. But the reports are Salah didn't look like he cared at all in the pregame warm-ups, and his manager noticed that. You can tell when a guy just doesn't have the attitude to play in a game. I remember guys like that, and as a coach, as an American football coach, you can just tell when somebody's just before the game, they're just not there, and you can tell that they're not preparing right, and you can tell before the game even starts. I can stand over with my head coach and we're just talking, and it's like, yeah, that guy, be prepared. He's about to have a terrible game on the field, and it normally happens because you can tell when a guy is just not there. And apparently, this is what we see in the Mohamed Salah and Jurgen Klopp kerfuffle. Jurgen Klopp not pleased with the performance of his club over the last month, trying to inspire anything or maybe trying to motivate players to do something. He does a drastic move and he benches one of his best players due to his attitude and his lack of aggression on the pitch, and it turns into a fight on the sidelines. And I want to say, I understand that it must suck to be demoted to the bench. But here, in my opinion, from an outsider's perspective, man, you can't do that. You can't back talk the gaffer. You can't do that. It's a bad look for you as a player. And also, how about you look in the mirror for a second and wonder, why is it that you were benched? Could it be that you've not been putting your heart and soul into helping your club, and you're letting fans down because you were just in a title race? And it's your attitude and lackadaisical performance as a team, as a club, that has led to you just dropping out of the title race. And now you're getting all upset and butthurt, which I understand when the manager's just trying to pull any string he can to get some good performance out of his club. You're letting Jurgen Klopp go out with a whimper, as opposed to letting him go out on top. You had an opportunity. You had an opportunity to win the league in his last season and to send him off as an iconic manager for Liverpool. But instead, you're putting out mid performances, 2 terrible performances, the last month of the season. And when he tries to motivate you by taking you out of the starting lineup and then substituting you in later in the game, instead of looking in the mirror and saying, okay, I've got to improve. I've got to play for this shirt. I've got to play and play for the glory and the honor of winning a match. And instead, you're not doing that. You're not looking in the mirror. Instead, you're saying there's going to be fire if I talk about it. I don't know that I'm putting too... I can understand Mo Salah's frustration, but I also understand why Jurgen Klopp did what he did. Now, let's look at what happened in this game. Like, 28 shot attempts from Liverpool. 28 shot attempts with only 8 shots on target. That's like 28 shot attempts. They dominated possession. 72% possession. 86% accuracy on their passes. They dominated the ball. And they created chances, but only 8 of their 28 shot attempts were on target. They weren't creating quality looks, just chances. And in contrast, West Ham saw 8 shots on target, but on only 11 shot attempts. So you've got the just horrific inefficiency of Liverpool to put the ball in the net. I mean, 2 goals, but West Ham replicate that performance on a much more efficient scale without having to dominate possession. So Liverpool's defending was just dreadful. They come out of this game with only 1 point when they really needed 3 points to compete and stay in the title race. Now it's between Arsenal and Man City. And now, like I said, as a Spurs fan, I've got to root for Manchester City now, which I did not want to do. I wanted someone else to win the league. I was rooting for Liverpool here. But instead, Liverpool have wet the bed. And what are we going to do about that?